Are there any other legislators in the room that like to testify on this bill? Seeing none, we're going to open up testimony in support, and we'll run a clock. We don't run a clock on our fellow legislators. There's a carve out for them, so to speak. Talk as long as they want. Sorry, you don't. Please, welcome, step up.
Morning, sir. Good morning. Representative Cornfield, Senator Langley, members of the committee. My name is Scott Cole. I've lived in Bethel the past 18 years. I was the town manager in Bethel. First 10 years I was there, and I've been the administrator for Oxford County since the fall of 2009. However, today I'm here strictly as a Bethel resident and as a supporter of LD 1080, an amendment to law which would prohibit the withdrawal of the town of Newry from our area school district, SAD 44. I'll do two brief remarks on background. SAD 44 is made up of 4 towns: Bethel, Greenwood, Newry, and Woodstock. I'll put a map in my testimony as well. The year-round combined population of the 4 towns is just over 5,000. By state standards, it's a small district, 750 students. Annual budget expenditure approaches $11 million. Population in western Maine is sparse. The district itself is 218 square miles, but as a practical matter, it's the option for students coming out of much larger area, places like Gilead, Andover, Albany Township, which is a good-sized township, Mason Township. The district was formed in 1965 in response to state policy which encouraged and still encourages the pooling of limited public resources to optimize educational opportunity in an increasingly complex world. That's how it was viewed in 1965, and that's the way things are today as well. From the earliest days at SAD 44 to the current, the local tax burden for K-12 education is raised, property tax based entirely on value. That is the norm, and that's the norm really across the state when you look at it. You hear terms like special and this and that. That's not true. At least half the kids going to K-12 today in Maine are going to single municipality districts, Lewiston, Brunswick, places like that. That school assessment is raised with property tax based entirely on value. That's how it's done in SAD 44. And even in the towns that have a hybrid consideration with a student count involved, once the town gets their assessment, they turn around, they spread their burden by valuation entirely. So it's a misnomer to say that this is a special arrangement, not at all. Back to SAD 44, there is a uniform mill rate for the supported schools. That means when the tax burden ultimately filters down from the school district to the town office, to the true taxpayer. Towns don't pay property taxes, property owners pay property taxes. Those bills are determined by a uniform mill rate for schools. That's the way it is, and we'd like to keep it that way in LD 1080. LD 1080 preserves the status quo, which has worked the best it can, offers the best opportunity for our area of the state. Very quick, why is this bill here today? State law, in my opinion, is loose on withdrawal. It doesn't really consider the big picture. It doesn't consider impact on education quality. It doesn't consider impact on other towns. It's sort of this simple dimensional, one-dimensional approach to withdraw. And typically, the same kids go to the same schools. No schools close. No schools get built. It's just a paper drill. So I'd ask you to look hard at LD 1336 this afternoon and really think about what's happening when small towns withdraw from larger districts. A portion of Newry residents have pursued withdrawal for over 2 years. Under current law, they will eventually succeed. That's why we're here today. I like the people of Newry. I know them all. We've all gotten along, but they're running a red herring argument. It's a red herring rationale that somehow the Newry cost per student is excessive. That's an irrelevant metric. It's simply a function of value. There's a significant amount of value in Newry because of the ski area. We all know that, and that's why we're here. If Newry withdraws, it undermines public education, plain and simple. LD 1080 is necessary because a Newry withdrawal creates a variety of undesirable conditions, and we'll go through them real quick. I'm running out of time, sir.
I'm sure there's others behind you.
All right, I'll go real quick. Newry provides 40% of the local funding. 90% of the value of Newry is owned by out-of-town, out-of-county, and probably out-of-state interests. So if current withdrawal law stays in place and 1080 doesn't go through, the withdrawal is a foregone conclusion. the state will be effectively allowing a lot of money otherwise lawfully taxed and gained for the support of schools to go out the door, and it's got to be made up somewhere else, or programs need to be reduced. So this is what's happening. This is why LD 1080 is important. I see my time's run out, so I'll pass on to others. I've left you a variety of attachments here as well. Some of the things Representative Head talked about, tax rate comparison, things like that. Also, the mediator's report is in the packet as well. Withdrawal and term negotiations, that's a misnomer too. How does the school board effectively deliver a quality education to its student body if they're constantly talking about losing tax base and trying to, how do you negotiate with an outfit that they've got the value, they don't have the kids, and they say we don't want to pay as much? I don't know where you find middle ground in that. Sir, you talked about, is this the place to mediate this? It's the only place. The laws govern, the laws set the stage, and we're here to work with it. Thank you, and I open the question.
Mr. Cole, what would the discussion be like today if there was some sort of catastrophic event that caused the closing of the ski area? And I pose that because I live very close to Bucksport, and we lost a mill and 44% of their tax base. What would today's discussion be like if that were to happen?
If that condition was in place, I don't think you'd be hearing talk about withdrawal. I think it'd be a moot point. Again, it's all about that taxable value. And I want to talk about one more thing. You mentioned Bucksport. The relationship between the ski area and the larger region is very much the same as it's like a modern day mill town. The value, not just the ski area, but the extraordinary development in Newry and other towns. There's been a lot of construction in the past 30, 40 years related to the ski area. The reason people are willing to invest that kind of money in second homes is because the skiing is so good at Sunday River, but it doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of people working snow machines, snowmaking, restaurants, bars. It's the overall experience. That's why people are willing to pay $200,000 for a condo, for a nice house that they don't use that much. That's all it is. That value is created by a workforce of 1,000 or more, not just Sunday River, but ancillary businesses. All that matters. Those people come from the region. Very few people actually live in Newry. I think it would be a disservice to the larger region to ignore the value that exists because of the efforts of hundreds of people who live in the region but not in Newry.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. President Pratt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be brief. So, just playing a little bit of devil's advocate.
Please.
Where would SAD 44 be if Newry had never joined?
It would be where, it's hard to speculate that kind of an answer. I don't know. Sunday River is a result of a group of Bethel business people in the 1960s who saw the future for the area in skiing. They moved a rope tow operation from Bethel to a much better mountain, much better set of mountains in Newry. That's why the ski area is there. It was done as an effort, as a regional effort, and to now have that, what's happened, have that vision that fulfilled itself, to have that hijacked by a small group of people with a single agenda is just not right. That's why we're here at the legislature today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. All right, we'll take testimony and support still. And while this gentleman signed in, let me, by a show of hands, how many people are here in opposition of this bill today? All right, so I'll run a couple more in support, and then I'll start to do a few in opposition. So we'll work the room down in an even way.
Senator Langley, Representative Head, and members of the Joint Standing Committee on Education and Cultural Affairs. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ronald Deegan. I am the Chair of the Selectmen Board of Woodstock, Maine. I have served in that capacity for nearly 10 years. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today concerning LD 1880. If this bill does not pass, it has the potential to have a catastrophic negative economic and social impact to the town of Woodstock. The town manager and selectmen of Woodstock over the last decade have worked very hard and with due diligence to keep our taxes to our citizens to a manageable level where citizens can afford them. Our way of life has changed dramatically. with soaring county taxes, increasing costs of non-controllable items such as electricity, fuel, and insurances. These increases, coupled with the loss of industry in the area, make it difficult to maintain current basic living standards. The concept of Newry leaving our school district could well be the last decision needed, causing a vote that would close Woodstock Elementary School due to massive town budget increases to keep the current educational level and school district solvent. This is a high-achieving elementary school in our district with many achieving awards. The possibility of closing the Woodstock School would change the educational, social, and emotional makeup of the town of Woodstock. Whenever we make decisions for the town of Woodstock in our leadership roles, we ask ourselves three things. Is it fair to all? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all? Now, I'm not naive enough to think in every decision we can always satisfy all three of these items. But I do want to focus on one specifically for this committee. Is it fair to all? The current funding formula for all towns is based on evaluation. Currently, Newry has a high cost per student because of the low student numbers and the current funding formula. If the town of Woodstock only had 20 to 25 students attending schools in the district, then under the current funding formula, our per student cost would be higher than it is now. So with this scenario, does this mean the town of Woodstock could come back to the district and ask for some type of student cost relief? The answer for us is no, because we understand the current funding formula agreed to by all towns during the conception is fair to all. The current tax revenue breakdown for Newry is 84% second homeowners, 10% local, and 6% Sunday River Ski Resort. Woodstock members, Woodstock wonders, if there was a tax relief, how much of it would trickle down to the 10% local? In good conscience, the selectmen of Woodstock could not ask its citizens to pay more taxes for a potential tax break to 84% second homeowners of Newry. If this bill does not pass and Newry pulls out from the district, in order to maintain the current educational level of the district, the town of Woodstock would have to raise its taxes an estimated 40 to 50% to its citizens. In closing, I trust you will seriously consider all the information you have received today before you vote. Please remember that taxpayers in Woodstock would see tax increases, proportions that you as legislators would not want to place on the residents of the state of Maine. Thank you for your commitment and your consideration of this all-important issue.
Thank you, Mr. Deegan. Mr. Deegan, as the chair of the Select Board of Woodstock, would you be able to commit here today that, or support amended language that would make it so that none of the towns could ever pull out of SAB 44 and all of SAB 44 to make it fair for all?
I would.
Thank you. Representative Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for being here. If Woodstock had to close their elementary school, where would those kids go? What's the closest elementary school?
Well, we as Woodstock, we'd have to sit down and take a look. First, we'd have to crunch the numbers to see whether it'd be feasible for us to close the school. Can we close it, save money on that end, or not? The second thing is that we'd have to take a hard look at where we would go ahead and actually, tuition our kids to. Could we come back to a 44, whatever that may be, in next concept, Bethel, CPS, Crescent Park Elementary School? That's a possibility, yes. Could we actually take a look at going to Oxford Hills? We definitely, that would be part of our problem-solving process. We'd take a look at that factor too. In RSU 10, we probably would take a look at that factor too. We're right in that middle of that region.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.